Okay, we know that viewership ratings are plunging for the debates, about cut in half since the summer. Look who's here, Heritage Foundation research fellow. He's Joel Griffith. Good to see you, Joel. 60% of people in one poll say they're not watching. It's repetitive. It's boring. The debate moderators don't ask pointed questions. They're not getting, and they're saying the same stuff over and again at these debates.
As one of the few who actually watched the entire 3 hours during the playoffs, I concur with those viewpoints. I really did. And I took notes. I took copious notes. And I think one of the recurring questions that all of us have after each one of the debates so far is, how are they going to pay for all these proposals?
Yeah, that's true. I want to get to this first because of the turmoil in the race. The Washington Post still says no clear frontrunner, possibly until the summer. That means Trump's going to bury them. Even Democrat senators like Tim Kaine, Dick Durbin, Debbie Stabenow, Joel Manchin saying, you know what, we're not going to endorse any candidates right now, meaning their fellow Democrat senators running.
And we still see more candidates entering the race, right? We saw Michael Bloomberg about a week ago.
Because they see a weakness, right? Because they're stepping in because they see a weakness.
There seems to be a void here. Governor Patrick from Massachusetts, who will now be competing with Elizabeth Warren from the East Coast. But there is still room here. But that's because a lot of these plans, they just have not yet been flashed out. There's a lot of unanswered questions. And I think there's a lot of real concern about some of the more radical proposals that have been circulating.
Okay, we've got the Trump campaign flying a banner in the skies over the debate. Socialism, Democrat socialism kills jobs. So I want to ask again, where is a full-fledged debate on jobs and the economy? Because Trump can point to this. The jobless rate is at or below in 30 states. 30 states have an unemployment rate exactly at or lower than the national average. That's solid stuff. Consumer confidence still strong. High-tech capital spending booming. Economy is strong, Joel. Yeah,
and if you hone in on some of those swing states across the Midwest and including Pennsylvania, we see unemployment that is at 20-year lows and even 50-year lows in some of those states. Median household income, we talk about on the national level, it's at a record high, and that's wonderful. But in those states, it's also been increasing over the last 4 years. In my home state in Ohio, the median income, household income, since the end of 2016 is up $5,000. So people are feeling the impact of a solid economy.
But that's crumbs to Nancy Pelosi, right? That's like crumbs.
It might be for somebody making $1 million plus a year, but if you're making $50,000 a year, that extra $5,000 or $6,000 goes a long way.
What we do at this show, we just like to look at the facts. We don't look at it through the prism of politics. We just want to look at the facts. You need economic growth to pay for what the Democrats are proposing. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, talking about doubling and tripling the federal debt as it stands now. Obama already doubled the federal debt. What's astonishing, $3.1 trillion in waste in the government. That's Citizens Against Government Waste. $3.1 trillion is $25,000 per U.S. household. Don't you think U.S. households would like to have that money in their own pockets? So how can they conceivably say to the American people tonight, again and again, this is probably why people are tuning out, listen, we're going to increase government spending when there's no accountability, and taxpayers know it?
Well, because for a lot of people, they're not asking those questions. They hear the big promises. They hear Andrew Yang talk about $1,000 per month or free healthcare, free college, but people aren't asking how do we pay for it. And too many people are assuming that you can just tax the rich or even plunder the rich or levy a wealth tax, but they're not actually looking at the numbers. Numbers aren't always exciting, but I would say for this, people should pay close attention because the fact is you can't get all the money you need for the programs from just the wealthy.
Well, it'll collapse the economy. Here's the big bombshell you likely will not hear the MSNBC moderators ask. It's this. A CNN and Des Moines Register poll found more than half, 54%, do not like Warren and Sanders' single-payer plan. Kaiser and Cook political poll, battleground voters don't want it either. They don't like it.
Yeah, well, I think we're all right to be frustrated with Obamacare and with the government decisions that have made health care more expensive and have reduced our options. But the way to solve those problems is not to nationalize health care. Not only would our choices be constricted, but the cost. Once again, we can't afford it. Heritage Foundation just released a study today that shows that you would have to have a 21% payroll tax across the board to pay for nationalized health care. 21%. And if you're a typical family that gets the insurance from an employer, if you're middle middle-class family like that, you're going to see your disposable income reduced by $10,000 per year. And that's adjusting for the fact that you'll no longer have to pay premiums or the out-of-pocket costs.
Okay, so they want to take away teachers' insurance from cops, want to obliterate insurance from firemen, from soldiers, and then put everyone in the same government DMV line, but then raise your taxes to pay for it.
As Senator Sanders says,
let's campaign on that.
Let me be clear. As you look at for Medicare for all, it would outlaw private health insurance and put all of us in a government plan. And for those of us that aren't familiar with what that's like, talk to somebody who's
by the way,
on VA.
it's fake branding. You know what I say? Put every politician into the VA and see how they like it, right? And after they work for running a business for a year, see how they like that too. Joel Griffith, you're great. Come back soon.
Thanks for having me.
Coming